ideals. The stranglehold on the Big Five title is slipping. The heir apparent, the LaSalle Explorers. They've already clinched their share of the City Series championship, and what a turnabout. Last season, Speedy Morris' team failed to win a single Big Five game, but last year's Big Five Player of the Year has tossed aside that weight in dramatic style. Lionel Simmons has led LaSalle to a perfect record so far, stating clearly the Explorers are back. It sets the stage for the LaSalle Challenge, poised to wrest Big Five honors from Temple, a proud champion. And tonight, the LaSalle Explorers go for their first outright Big Five City Series title in 14 years as they take on defending champion Temple. Welcome, everyone, live from the Palestra, along with Ed Stefanski. I'm Mark Zumoff. There is real happiness right now at 20th and Aldi. LaSalle off to a great start at 8-2, but at Broad Montgomery, some problems. Temple with a young team right now only at 3-4. Of course, the big reason for the Explorers' success was Lionel Simmons.
Well, we seem like we talk about him at every telecast, but he is the player for LaSalle. Averaging 27 points a game, he's just doing it all. And the key tonight will be how he's going to do inside against Duane Causwell. A 6'11 Duane Causwell may give Lionel Simmons some problems. If it does, then LaSalle's going to have a long night.
The point guards, the extension of the coaches on the floor. Doug Overton has really done a special job for Speedy Morris this year, and a change at point guard for Temple. Mark Macon, their sensational sophomore, will be stepping in place of the freshman who is struggling right now. That's Michael Harden.
Well, Overton has done a real nice job for Speedy Morris. The transition, he's done it. But the problem tonight is more on the defensive end because he's going to have to cover Macon. Macon can really score, so Overton's going to have his hands full holding the offense and controlling Mark Macon. Can you control Mark Macon? I don't think so.
Is there an intangible here that we're overlooking? Of course, it's natural to talk about Simmons, to talk about Macon. Is there an intangible that could work its way in here to possibly decide the game in some way?
I definitely think Bobby Johnson from LaSalle is the guy because Temple loves to play that matchup zone defense. The outside shot will be open. Bobby Johnson's going to have it. Can he knock it down and bring Temple out of it?
Stay with us. The X's and O's come to life in what is, in effect, a Big Five City Series championship game. LaSalle goes for it all against Temple.
The Philadelphia Big Five presents a Philadelphia Big Five City Series game featuring the Temple University Owls and the LaSalle University Explorers. Let's meet the starting lineups. First, for the Temple Owls. At a forward position, a sophomore, 6 feet, 6 inches tall, from Philadelphia, number 10, Ernest Pollard. At the other forward, a senior, 6 feet, 7 inches tall, from Morrisville, Pennsylvania, number 32, Mike Vreeswyk. At the center spot, a sophomore, 6 feet, 11 inches tall, from Queens Village, New York, number 31, Duane Causwell. At the guards, the sophomore, 6 feet, 5 inches tall, from Saginaw, Michigan, number 12, Mark Macon. And at the other guard, a freshman, 6 feet, 7 inches tall, from Philadelphia, number 15, Nick Kilgore. The head coach of the Temple University Owls in his 7th season is John Chaney. And for the LaSalle University Explorers, at a forward position, a junior, 6 feet, 6 inches tall, from Philadelphia, number 22, Lionel Simmons. At the other forward, a senior, 6 feet, 6 inches tall, from Glenside, Pennsylvania, number 42, Craig Conlon. At the center spot, a freshman, 6 feet, 9 inches tall, from Amsterdam, the Netherlands, number 44, Milko Lieverst. At the guards, the sophomore, 6 feet, 2 inches tall, from Philadelphia, number 11, Doug Overton. At the other guard, a freshman, 6 feet, 6 inches tall, from Linnitz, Pennsylvania, number 25, Jack Hurd. The head coach of the LaSalle University Explorers in his 3rd season is Bill Speedy Morris. The officials for this evening's game, with the ball, Jody Sylvester, along with Pete Pavia and G. Maggi.
Ed Stefanski on the year. LaSalle is averaging 80 points a game. Temple is averaging 63 points a game. Does that make tempo a big factor tonight?
Well, I always believe a team who wants to slow the pace down and pack it in defensively can slow the game down. I think if Temple wants to make it a half-court game, they can definitely do it. One thing we know tonight is with the lineup change and Pollard's in there for Harden, that Macon will have the basketball bringing it up. I think that's better for that man, John Chaney's team, where Macon doesn't have to keep running back and forth on those double screens low and tire himself out. He'll have the ball in his hands. So that will be a plus. That's the man right there, number 12, Mark Macon, their All-American candidate, who will control the tempo for the Temple Owls tonight.
He will be controlling the tempo as the point guard. Again, earlier this year, Macon started twice at the point guard, and then they brought in the freshman Michael Harden, but because of his inability to shoot from the outside and the fact that he has problems in grasping the John Chaney system, it is Macon who has taken the reins of this team now as the point guard. There you see once again the starting lineups as Pollard, Ernest Pollard, the sophomore out of Roman Catholic, inserted into that starting lineup in effect for a Harden. Just about ready to go, Jody Sylvester, the lead official. Lionel Simmons at 6'6", and despite the presence of Duane Causwell at nearly 7 feet, it will be Mick Kilgore at 6'7" to jump it up. Craig Conlon has it for LaSalle. The Explorers control the tap.
Now Temple stays their 3-2 zone matchup. They got Kilgore, about 6'5", 6'6" at the point, so he'll give LaSalle some problem shooting the ball.
And that corner shot by Overton, no good. That corner is where LaSalle thinks the Temple zone is vulnerable. Watch them as they attack the corners of the Temple zone.
Now LaSalle goes zone. That's in the hands of Vreeswyk and Macon. They love to see teams set up in the zone defense against them. But watch Jackie Hurd, the freshman from LaSalle, is way out on Macon.
This is Causwell. They like to establish the post early, and Causwell establishes himself for the first 2 of the game. We'll give you the players, and again, there's that corner, and Lionel Simmons had the shot, thought about it. Hurd, not bashful from the outside, got it for 3.
Well, good ball movement by LaSalle as they got it all the way in one corner and reversed it by the diagonal pass by Lionel Simmons. A zone can't move that quickly.
And there's the trap by LaSalle, just designed to slow the Temple offense, not necessarily to cause a turnover, although they'll take one. Hurd, by the way, the three-point shooter there, the number 1 three-point shooter at LaSalle at 40% on the year. He's now 25 from 61. That three-pointer's no good. Simmons there in front of Causwell, off of Causwell's fingertips and out of bounds. It'll be Explorer basketball.
Well, that's what we're going to see all night. If LaSalle's going to stay in the zone defense, Mick Kilgore from West Philadelphia High School, number 15 for Temple, is going to have shots. He's going to have to knock them down.
This is Doug Overton, the point guard, to Hurd, and there's that corner again, and it's open, and Conlon hits the jumper.
Well, they're making real good ball reversal movement by LaSalle, and as you said, they had 3 or 4 shots already from that same exact corner.
The Owls down 3 with a basketball, and there's that trap again by the Explorers, almost turns it over. John Chaney hates turnovers. Macon will put it up. Out of bounds, and we have a foul coming up against LaSalle. It's going to be on Conlon, the senior.
And we've seen in a lot of the Big 5 contests, the team that gets second shots wins the basketball game. And right there, Temple has the opportunity. They'll take the ball out of bounds. 5-2 LaSalle early in the game.
First foul of the game, a fresh 45 for the Owls, and they'll use a good chunk of that 45 each and every trip down the floor. Tempo and taking care of the basketball, 2 of the hallmarks of the John Chaney system. There's Causwell. And that's Macon on top. That's Mike Vreeswyk, who's been a bit inconsistent this year from the outside. The lone senior in this lineup. Vreeswyk for 3. And Simmons has it knocked away by Causwell and out of bounds. Good job twice there by Simmons to block out the much taller Duane Causwell.
But it was good ball movement by Temple. They got the shot they wanted. Vreeswyk with a standstill open jump shot. That's what he shoots best.
Opening moments from the Palestra, a win for LaSalle, and they have the City Series title. Overton for 3. Simmons with a big pull. Can't get back up there. And the possession is going to go over to LaSalle, or I should say Temple, as LaSalle won the tap. And Macon and Simmons have some words.
Well, there's 2 big timers right there trying to elbow each other, but a strong rebound by Lionel Simmons, who went over Ernest Power. Power's going to have to get his body on Simmons, or he's going to weak side rebound all night.
Lionel Simmons had 21 rebounds earlier this year. In fact, it was against Villanova as they took care of him defensively, but he went to the boards. There's a steal by Milko Levers, who was coming off of a game in which he had 2 steals, and there's a steal right back by Vreeswyk. So 2 turnovers in succession, and the Owls now down 3 with a basketball. Ernest Pollard for his first 2 of the game.
And Temple again did a nice job going guard inside, and Pollard gets the easy 2.
And a steal by Macon. 4 on 3. Macon for 2. Good hustle by Simmons to run down that long rebound.
What did you expect? A Big 5 game, both teams going at each other real hard. You have bad basketball in the beginning. They'll get into the flow of the game.
Well, we harken back to our last Big 5 City Series game when LaSalle and Villanova were very sloppy in the first half and then came back to show us a tremendous second half.
They're both trying to feel each other out right now.
This is Levers, not much of an offensive threat. Hurd is, and he walks with the basketball. Third turnover already on LaSalle. They are averaging 13 a game, which isn't too bad considering the fact that they forced the other team into 18 turnovers. That's a difference of 5.
LaSalle stays in that 2-3 zone. They're trying to match up on Vreeswyk and Macon, the shooters. They'll give Kilgore his shot from the outside.
Vreeswyk for 3.
And that's the problem. You want to go zone against Temple, you better get out on Vreeswyk, and he knocks down a 3, and Temple takes the lead 7-5.
Vreeswyk, the second leading three-point shooter to make it on the team, now 14 for 40 on the year. That's 40%. And Temple with a lead now by 2. LaSalle with the basketball. Simmons, who hasn't really been involved that much early on, tries to get something going himself, and Macon, looking back, trying to help out against Simmons, commits the foul.
Well, Temple is aware every time Lionel Simmons catches the basketball, they're going to go and dump down, and Macon gets the tick foul there.
We have a timeout. 4 minutes, 20.
Themselves around that man, and I know Jerry Byrne from his days in Pennsylvania football, and he's a good man for the job, and hopefully he'll bring Temple back to where they want to be in football.
But we're playing basketball, and LaSalle has it down 2. Early moments here from the Palestra. Hurd for 3. Has 1 to his credit already, and Causwell there with a rebound.
LaSalle, everything is from the outside, though. If they don't shoot the ball well outside, they're not getting anything inside on their offense.
Of course, establishing Lionel Simmons inside will help to open things up outside. Kilgore on a drive, and that's his favorite move. He likes to bring it into about 13 and put it up, and he did right there.
And I think that's a big shot for Temple because Kilgore has to get it going because they always cheat on Macon and Vreeswyk, the opponents do.
LaSalle down 4 with a basketball. It's Temple's largest lead of the game. Skip pass for Simmons, almost intercepted by Vreeswyk. Vreeswyk right on Simmons, almost strips him of the ball. Now Lionel's going to make something.
Well, what Lionel did well there was drive to the basket. We don't see that a lot, but he drove right through the lane as Vreeswyk went to the floor.
First 2 of the game for Lionel Simmons, and now Bob Johnson will come into the game replacing Jack Hurd. But let's watch Lionel make his own stuff when things broke down.
It was a good save, but a nice crossover dribble by Lionel Simmons, and he just had the taller Causwell faked out.
Bob Johnson will be wearing number 20. Excellent outside shooter coming into the game, replacing the freshman Jack Hurd. And here's a little trapping going on by LaSalle.
Temple loves to just go guard to guard and take their time getting the ball up court.
Causwell over the much shorter Simmons, and that's about a half-a-foot height advantage for Duane Causwell.
Well, Causwell's given a little bit of offense in there. He's been struggling offensively. He's got to get the ball down low in the box, and that's what he just got it from.
That's Johnson, the man who just came into the game. Good aggressive defense by Temple. They find the open Conlon, however, and Causwell with another rebound. So the 7-footer very active early on, both off the defensive glass and now offensively. Make it for Kilgore, and now Temple will set up. Strong drive by Pollard, couldn't get it down, and Johnson there weak side to grab the rebound for the Explorers, and here they come. Simmons on the run, and he took too many steps.
And there's John Chaney, very happy with the defense. That's 4 early turnovers for LaSalle. But I think Temple looks much better than what we saw early in the season. They've had a long layup. They played Penn State the 26th of December. So they maybe John Chaney with a lot of practice, and they've gotten a little bit more offense out of just the 2 guys.
Pollard has it blocked by Simmons, the leading shot blocker on the LaSalle team, and in doing so, Lionel commits the foul. It'll be 2 shots coming up for Ernest Pollard.
Again, they get the ball inside. Pollard makes a good, strong move to the basket. Lionel Simmons gets ball, but he gets him with the body. But what Temple needs is, we keep saying, is somebody else has to show some offense. Already they got Kilgore has a bucket. They got 2 buckets from Causwell, and Pollard has a bucket. So they're showing some offense outside of Vreeswyk and Macon, which I'm sure John Chaney and staff are extremely happy with.
Pollard a little bit better than Kilgore, although both approximately the same size at around 6'6", 195, at getting some stuff inside as some big men exchange positions. Here now going to the bench is Milko Lieberst, and that man, number 51, Steve Reed, coming into the game. Both freshmen, Reed a bit taller, 2 inches taller at 6'11". Combined, the 3 centers have given Speedy Morris 3 points and 5 rebounds a game. That's 3 points right there from Doug Overton, who's an excellent 3-point shooter, shooting on the year at 40%.
And the zone doesn't want to go that far out. Temple's zone defense to play Overton. He was 20-some feet from the basket. Mark Macon with good penetration against the zone. You shouldn't be able to penetrate, but he got in there for a 14-foot jumper. 15-10, Temple leads LaSalle.
Overton again for 3. Conley with a rebound, may have gone over Mike Vreeswyk, and that's going to be the call from Gene Monge.
I think he's going to get Vreeswyk.
You got it.
Yeah, he's going to get Vreeswyk with a hold. So LaSalle gets the ball underneath their basket. Let's see if they have a set play to try to score against Temple's zone defense.
Fresh 45 coming up now for LaSalle. They like to look to Lionel Simmons off the inbounds play under their own basket, but Lionel covered as the Temple defense, of course, well schooled by John Chaney, Jim Maloney, and staff. Johnson for 3. Causwell lost it to Conlon. Conlon has it taken away, and here comes Macon. Vreeswyk open for 3. And Simmons with a rebound. And now here comes LaSalle with Overton leading the charge up the floor. Simmons thought about it. He's improved his 3-point range. Now looks for the drive, and he is fouled. Blocking foul is coming up, and I think it's going to be against McKilgore.
But Temple's doing a pretty good job, a very good job, matter of fact, in getting back on transition. LaSalle wants to run the ball up the court, but Temple's getting back and setting up their defense.
We've been relatively foul-free, only a total of 5 in the game between both teams. That was Simmons with the miss. South Philly teammate Bobby Johnson has it blocked by Causwell, who had 10 blocks last week, a school record. It goes out of bounds, and it'll be Temple basketball.
You can't play any better defense than Duane Causwell did. 2 guys tried to give him the ball fake. He never left his feet, especially with Bobby Johnson there. He adjusted the shot. Good defense by Causwell.
That's the mark of a good shot blocker. Don't commit yourself. Don't go for those fakes. As Vreeswyk comes back for 3, and suddenly Temple builds an 8-point margin at 18-10.
Well, I think Speedy Morris definitely has to go man-to-man. You know, he kids me about always telling him to play man-to-man, but you play a trap or a zone against Temple. That number 32 loves it. Mark Macon loves it.
Conlon breaks the string. Conlon now with 4 in the game. Vreeswyk leading Temple with 6. And it's LaSalle now down 6. And they do come out of the man-to-man. Ed Stefanski.
Well, he has to. I mean, he was losing by 6 points now, but that zone, they just love to see zone, Temple does. Now, where you have to really play is overplay Vreeswyk and Macon.
Kilgore. And a fresh 45 as Kilgore comes down with a loose ball rebound. And now you see Johnson right in on Vreeswyk. Overton has Macon. Kilgore on a drive against Simmons. And I think Bobby Johnson was fouled there by Ernest Pollard, who is crashing the offensive glass for Temple. And for Pollard, that'll be only his first and only the 4th on the Temple team. And we have a timeout on the floor, I believe. Yes, we do. Timeout is ours, and we're already underway, and the Temple players are really rushing out of their huddle there to get back onto the floor. The new rule is in college basketball, and they do enforce it. You get a certain amount of time per timeout, and then you got to come out. Now they finally get it into Lionel Simmons, and now the offense works as they get it into Simmons in Simmonsville, that blue lane area.
Well, the offense works, but what a shot. I never saw that in Lionel Simmons, like a baby hook over Causwell, and that's where the only shot you're going to get over the 6'11" guy. On the offense now, Temple, it's evident what John Chaney, I believe, and his staff have been doing in practice. They're telling Kilgore and them, you've got to get on it offensively. Kilgore's been making a lot of moves to the basket with his shot, and here's Power trying too.
And there is Reed to cut off the baseline.
Here, Kilgore's going to go right in.
Yep, they gave him the room. Causwell tried to reach that big 6'11" frame up and steal it away, but LaSalle comes down with a defensive board.
Even though it wasn't a great shot, I still think they have to show offense, the other guys. Temple, someone is going to have to come to the forefront for Temple and score.
And a walk called on Bobby Johnson, and good Temple defense forcing the 6th Explorer turnover, and we are halfway through this first half.
Well, what Temple does real well in this matchup, they take passing lanes away from you. What you must do if you're LaSalle or any opponent of Temple is take it, make Temple cover you, at least take it in the seams and make 2 Temple guys make a decision who's going to cover who. Right there, Bobby Johnson just tried to make a pass about 6-7 feet away from someone.
Vreeswyk for 3. And he's got the feeling tonight. Mike Vreeswyk connects with his second 3-pointer. He has 9 to lead all scores, and Temple up 7. LaSalle facing an extremely tough Owl defense. That was Johnson missing for 3-point territory, and Temple missing the chance to get the defensive board. It'll be a fresh 45 for LaSalle.
Well, as we all know, Temple's been struggling this year. Schedule's been tough, 3 and 4, but the first 10 minutes they look awfully good.
Simmons for 3. He's been shooting about 40% from 3-point territory, and there's Macon out of it for Temple.
Now here comes the trap again. Now if they beat the trap, someone's going to get open. The problem is if Vreeswyk or Macon get open, they can knock it down.
Vreeswyk again, and he got it again. That's his 4th 3-pointer. I was in error before. He has 4 3-pointers on the night, and 4 times 3 is 12, and that's what he has in the game. And a timeout called by LaSalle as they got to take care of the outside shooting.
Extremely well. I think the zone defense that LaSalle's playing, they got to get out of it because Vreeswyk is just murdering. Again, give credit to Temple. They're a lot more confident this evening.
Jack Hurd, who just came back into the game, may have slipped as he attempted that jump shot. Simmons with a big offensive rebound and follow-up.
Yeah, Lionel Simmons, if he can't get it in his set offense, he gets it off the offensive glass. And really there, he wasn't set when he turned around, but he still has the athletic move to knock it down.
The good players will go after the ball and get it elsewhere and make something for themselves if indeed the defense shuts down the set offense. And that's what Lionel Simmons has done. Vreeswyk, not that time. And Simmons there to save it. Does he? Yes, he does. But there is Ernest Pollard to get it for Temple. Fresh 45 for the Owls. Kilgore, nice look for Pollard.
This is a different Temple team than we've seen, and I'm sure their opponents are not going to like what they're going to see because Temple is distributing the ball to all 5 players on the floor, and they're looking to score.
Fairness to Temple, although a record of 3 and 4 as Hurd tries for 3. Follow-up tap by Simmons is good, and Simmons with 8 in the game to lead LaSalle. I was saying, of their 4 losses on the year, they have come to teams that have either appeared in the top 20 or were at one time in the top 20. They are 3-0 right now in Atlantic 10 play, and I think they'll be a tournament team by year's end. Certainly they're beginning to shape up as a tournament team.
Well, what's keeping LaSalle in the game is Lionel Simmons' offensive glass work, and again, Temple without Causwell rebounding the ball, the other 4 guys aren't looking to rebound. They got to help them out a little bit.
See the Owls now against the man-to-man. Macon with a miss, Causwell with a big pull, and a follow and a score.
That was a big-time move. I mean, he just out-strengthened everybody on the court and just ripped it down.
Temple matches their largest lead of the game. Hurd for 3. The freshman is quiet, and the sophomore Macon has it for Temple. Again, the Explorers still in the man-to-man. Kilgore against Hurd. That's Vreeswyk against Bobby Johnson. Vreeswyk will probably not be as effective now in the man-to-man situation. This man probably loves man-to-man.
Well, they got to help out. Macon can break down Overton.
Not that time. Pollard and Hurd go wrestling for it. It'll be LaSalle basketball. Sean Randolph comes into the game now for Temple, replacing Ernest Pollard for John Chaney.
And Ernest Power did a nice job for John Chaney offensively, making a few moves, got 4 points there, and did a job on the glass. Now Randolph is smaller than Power. He's going to have to do a good job boxing out because he's playing inside with Causwell in the zone.
Randolph, the sophomore who attended Buena Vista High School in Saginaw, Michigan, along with Mark Macon. That's a 2-pointer for Overton, and he got it.
That's why Lionel Simmons is so good. He makes the penetration. 6'7" guy goes in there. Causwell, the zone collapses. He finds Overton for the 2.
Temple by 8 with the ball. Vreeswyk around the screen. Now they leave him open as he gives up the dribble.
That was good help by Bobby Johnson on him. See, now Lionel Simmons doesn't have to cover Kilgore this far out. He should be inside helping out with Macon here.
Macon for 3. Kilgore with an offensive rebound. Had it gone, it would have counted. Instead, Kilgore will try to make him at the line.
Again, second shots, both ends. When you play good defense, they miss the first shot, you get the second shot. That's coach's nightmare.
Foul is on Bobby Johnson. Only his first and only 3 thus far on the Explorers, and Temple with only 4 fouls. So LaSalle, of course, has to be aggressive here defensively, and they can afford to commit a few team fouls and going for some steals perhaps. Kilgore, Public League Player of the Year last year for Joey Goldenberg at West Philadelphia High School. The game really more suited to the wing, and I think he's looks a little more comfortable there tonight as opposed to playing down low in the power forward or 4 spot, as they say.
And he played outside, and yes, the Temple Owls aren't invisible. That's John Chaney, likes to put them back on defense. He doesn't want any foul trouble, even when they're shooting a free throw.
Kilgore, a poor foul shooter, by the way, on what is otherwise an excellent foul shooting team, only at 50%. He shot 50% right there, 1 for 2. And Causwell, who's got a bushel of defensive boards here and 1 or 2 offensive rebounds to his credit, notches another one.
And as well as we've seen LaSalle play, they're not doing it in the first half. Again, give some credit to Temple. Their defense is doing the job. There's Macon open.
Macon, Causwell again with another pull. And there's Simmons with a loose ball. Here comes LaSalle. And a nice defensive transition that time by Temple to slow up any sort of Explorer 4-way. Johnson for 3. And Vreeswyk has it for Temple. It's 1 and done also for the Explorers of late.
Right, and Bobby Johnson's a streak shooter, and he's not knocking it down. He's going to have to do some rebounding or play some good defense for LaSalle.
Shooting, of course, could be an infectious sort of thing among teams. One guy gets hot, another guy gets hot, everybody's in the flow. Right. That'll belong to Temple, by the way. And we have 2 freshmen coming into the game. I'm sorry, Jack Hurd for LaSalle and Michael Harden, the man who started the last 5 games at point guard, but because of some poor shooting and his inability to grasp the system, tonight he comes off the bench, and he has it out there now along with Mark Macon. Harden wearing number 4.
Both teams love the 3-point shot. Temple 4 for 9. LaSalle 2 for 11. See, Causwell's a little too far out there.
Now we have a foul coming up, and it's going to be on Milko Lieberst.
See, when Causwell catches the ball past the 8 to 10 foot mark and he has his back to the basket, he has to turn away from the defender. He's out of his range a little bit. He has to work harder to get the ball down the low box. When he gets it down there, we've seen already, he's a major factor.
They are working with Duane Causwell 1 step at a time, developing his offense very slowly, but his defense has really come to the fore.
As I've said before, whoever works with these guys, they've done a great job. Is it that man? Is it Jay Norman? Is it Jimmy Maloney? They ought to get a cut from Tim Perry. They made him a lottery pick, and that kid, when he came here freshman year, it would be tough to figure out that he was going to be a lottery pick in the NBA. And they said the same thing with Ramon Rivas.
Causwell, although 6'11", not heavily recruited in high school, West Virginia, perhaps the biggest name school, along with some other smaller schools, and of course Temple going after him. Anyway, he gives the Owls their largest lead of the night, 11 points, and we have 4.5 to play. Loose ball picked up by Harden, making ahead of the pack, and he can't handle it out of bounds.
Now, how many times are you going to get that? Was it a tough bounce pass to pick up, or a nice easy lob pass would have been easy for Mark Macon to pick it up? But any kind of pass, you think Mark Macon's going to grab it and put it in for 2. Maybe the lob pass would have been easier for him.
Conlon has it blocked by Causwell, gets it back, and goes right up. And here comes Macon. LaSalle gets back defensively, but Macon will operate. And there's Levers to come in and clean house for LaSalle. Overton is tripped by Harden, and the foul is going to be called against the freshman. That is his first and the 5th on the Owls in the half. Only 4 for LaSalle, so they have a couple to take. And we have a timeout on the floor with 3 minutes, 46 seconds to go. And the Owls, despite the Explorers who hope to pierce the top 20 with some notable wins, struggling right here, down 11, 3:43 to go in the half. Conlon looked for Levers, who was looking up for an offensive board. And I'll tell you, the Explorers simply just don't look coordinated right now.
Well, right there, that was Causwell. Again, he came flying out of Conlon. Conlon said, oh, my shot's going to be blocked. And he has caused the turnover.
Vreeswyk for 3, and he's got another one. And for Mike Vreeswyk, that is 5 3-pointers on the night. The source of all his scoring. He's got 15 in the game.
See, if it goes inside there, Milko Levers not doing a good job catching the ball. He's not going to score either. Here's another one by Vreeswyk.
Yeah, he's got it going, Vreeswyk. We've seen this before. We haven't seen it this year, but we see it now.
Vreeswyk shooting 33%, only 2nd best on the team in 3-point shooting coming in. Speedy Morris has to find some way to put out the fire. Temple suddenly up 17 with 2:54 to go in the first half, and what looks to be a sellout crowd here at the Palestra.
Half of their production. Again, though, I keep alluding to that the other players are involved in the offense. Before, you knew where the 3 other players in Temple's offense were going to be at all time. At least tonight, they're being very aggressive and trying to get something out of their own game.
Going into this game as a team, Temple was shooting just 37% from the field, but they've shot much better than that here in the first half. And Macon has another defensive board for the Owls, and here they come.
One and done. LaSalle shoots and they're done. And there's Michael Harden.
Loose ball, and it was almost saved in there by Sean Randolph. Instead, LaSalle comes up with that loose basketball.
That should have been out of bounds anyway. It hit the guy was behind the backboard and hit the back of the backboard.
Simmons.
Well, they finally got the ball into the hands of Lionel Simmons. They've been shooting a lot of jumpers. He got his 10th point of the night. They had to take their time and maybe get the ball to Lionel a little bit more.
Temple up 15 with the ball. Vreeswyk around a Causwell screen, but Johnson's right on him. So they try Randolph. And a fresh 45 as the long rebound comes out to Harden. It's not really Randolph's shot there from the elbow, but they gave it to him and he thought he'd try it.
But again, at least all 5 players are shooting the ball when they're open. They're not looking always for Macon and Vreeswyk anymore. I think it makes them a better team.
And Harden in there, the freshman who's had his problems, running the show right now. He's the point guard number 4 at the top. Minute and a half to go in the half. Macon. And of course, he can heat it up at any time. He struggled here in the first half, but he'll keep shooting.
Right, and they did a nice job, patience and waiting for someone to pop open, and Mark Macon pop for 2.
And we have a foul here. It looks to be away from the ball as Gene Monjay comes over. It is on Sean Randolph. And that is only his first and only the 6th on Temple. So from now on, they'll shoot it. Simmons. And Randolph thought that Simmons was the last to touch it, watched it go out of bounds. Little did he realize it would still be Explorer basketball.
Great ball fake by Lionel Simmons to get the shot, but give Duane Causwell. Can't give him a block, but it was a rush shot by Simmons that went almost an air ball.
Here's Simmons now against Macon. Macon knocks it away as Simmons got the step and the quick paw there by Macon to knock it out of bounds. Michael Harden now comes back into the game, and he replaces Mark Macon. Macon has only sat down 11 seconds this year. He's only missed 11 seconds. You're seeing a rarity right now. John Chaney taking a minute off of Mark Macon's playing time. This will be the longest he has sat down all year, 58 seconds. 3-pointer by Johnson is no good, but Conlon with another opportunity. The Explorers want to put it right back up. Overton The Explorers shooting percentage poor here in this half, and we're going to walk the floor now as we have a foul coming up on LaSalle. It is on Craig Conlon, and Conlon is the first in the game to pick up 2. And Speedy Morris, will he protect Craig Conlon here and keep him from picking up his 3rd personal? Yes, he will, as Jack Hurd comes into the game, and there goes Conlon out. 42 seconds to go. The game clock and shot clock are virtually simultaneous, and I think Temple's going to eat most of it and take a healthy lead into this locker room. They lead it right now by 17. Kilgore. So the Owls don't use most of it, but what do you know? Kilgore comes up with 2 and a 19-point lead for Temple, their largest of the game. 16 seconds to go in the half. Hurd for 3. They could use it. Hurd has 2 3-point field goals in the game. He has 6. 3 seconds to go. Kilgore's going to have to be the man. Nope, won't count. And that is it. So Lionel Simmons, although he finally woke up later on and was able to get his offense going somewhat, does come up with 10, but a very quiet 10 as John Chaney, Jim Maloney, and the coaching staff of Temple school their... It'll be Temple basketball. Vreeswyk, Macon, Kilgore, Causwell, and Pollard. The same starting 5 for Temple, and as we check LaSalle, their same starting 5 of Simmons, who is out there now against Kilgore with Overton. Hurd, who makes the steal right there. Lieberst and the senior Craig Conlon. And things bode well early for the Explorers as they get a steal. LaSalle has been down by as many as 19 points. They trail by 16. The halftime score 41-25. As Simmons gets his defender in the air and finally makes 2.
And a lot better patience by LaSalle. They didn't rush and take the 3-point shot right away. They used some seconds off the 45-second clock. Lionel Simmons, again, great ball control to have Causwell leave his feet.
And you could hear the LaSalle faithful begin to buzz just a bit. Part of the sellout crowd here at the Palestra are very close to it. Vreeswyk, who had 6 for 8 3-point shooting, draws iron there, and the Explorers with a board.
Well, that's the difference when you play man-to-man. You have a face in Vreeswyk's hand right up there. He forced the shot a little bit.
Simmons.
This is what John Chaney is concerned about, I'm sure, right early in the second half, not to let LaSalle get off. Well, they've gotten off already with 4 points. They've narrowed it now to a 12-point Temple advantage. Temple needs to get a good shot here.
And the Explorers out of the man-to-man. That's Overton against Macon, who again starting at point tonight. Vreeswyk against Hurd. Causwell, who was solid in that first half. Now Macon, don't leave him open.
Yeah, that was a big mistake by Overton as he went to Kilgore. Kilgore's not going to shoot the ball or shoot it that well. He left Mark Macon open. Big mistake.
Conlon. And Causwell with another rebound. Temple up 14 with the ball. Macon, what a move. And we have a foul coming up, and it's going to be against Duane Causwell.
Real good, hard dribble to the basket by Mark Macon, but LaSalle has to help out. They can't let Mark Macon drive the basket. Chaney's saying, I can't get a better shot than that. Mark Macon decided not to use the glass, and that was the cardinal sin. You got to use the glass when you're driving into the basket like that.
Foul on Causwell is only his first and the first of the second half. Simmons, they're doing a much better job of getting the ball to Lionel. You saw the defense collapse on him, but Hurd, the freshman, gets the 3-pointer.
And you say a freshman in another big game, a sold-out Palestra, they drive it into Lionel Simmons, and he knocks down for 3. Now they have the LaSalle faithful in the game, but now the ball's in the hands of Mark Macon. He'll get a good shot if he can get it up.
As the Explorers cut into the lead now, they're only down 11.
Causwell wants the ball.
Going toe-to-toe with Lieberst in that low post.
They got to help out Overton right here.
Macon over Overton. And Lieberst with a rebound. And boy, doesn't Speedy Morris love to see one of those big men come down cradling the basketball off the boards. Right into Simmons, and there was Pollard to defense it and knock it out of bounds.
Oh, we talked about Lionel Simmons not getting the basketball. Every time down court now, they're looking for Lionel Simmons because he's so good. If he is double team, triple team, he'll knock it right back out to you for the jump shot. So they got to get the ball into Lionel Simmons, collapse Temple zone, and then get the easier jump shot.
Overton for three.
Not close.
Lieberst. Nice play as he got it into Hurd, and a fresh 45 for LaSalle. Overton.
But what you got to like about Overton there, he had almost the air ball right there. He comes right back for the shot, so he hasn't lost his confidence.
And Macon, who is right now shooting 3 for 12, but he's not done. He'll put it up at least 8-9 more times. He averages 21 shots a game, and he'll work here on Overton. Kilgore took too many steps.
And John Chaney, as he said before, I can't coach every dribble. I know what he means. When you have a team that you want to do well and they're inexperienced, every dribble, every play they do, he's just going to sit back and say, I can't get out there every minute.
Hurd.
But one and done. They're shooting that three-point shot again.
And there you see Macon running the point, very content to walk the basketball up the floor. Off the double screen, Simmons has him on the switch. Now Kilgore the open man. The defense late there, and they left Kilgore open.
Well, you got to do something. You can't double team Mark Macon. Someone's going to be open. Give credit to Mick Kilgore as he powered it in for the 14-footer.
Overton for three. And Lieberst with a strong offensive board, but Conlon right back. And Vreeswyk tangled up with Hurd is going to be called for the foul.
Milko Lieberst has done a real nice job here in the second half for LaSalle. Kept the ball alive. Conlon had a good shot. 14-footer, couldn't knock it down. Temple gets the rebound. 45-32 Temple.
And we have a timeout on the floor when one of the Cotton States Classic. LaSalle later losing in the championship game to Georgia in a game in which they had 3 more field goals, 11 fewer turnovers, and 13 steals, but still lost the game as Georgia went to the line 32 times. But that is far removed from this. Right now, a 13-point margin to make up against a Temple team that seems rather reluctant to yield as Michael Harden, the freshman, running the point now there at number 4. He gives it to Macon, and now for Causwell, who moves against Lieberst.
You can't diagram it any better as Causwell works every day on the move and got to the glass for 2. And they put it back up to 15.
Simmons dribbled it off his own foot. Macon with Harden, 2 on 4. And they give up the basketball. And you always look at John Chaney to see how he's going to react to a play like that. Where you have possession, you know it, you're obviously outnumbered. You're sitting on a 15-point lead, and you turn the ball over. Simmons' shot will not count. We have a foul before the shot coming up.
And that's what we said at halftime. Simmons looks like he was slicing a few times in the zone the first half wide open. Right there, they finally got him the ball, and they got Causwell and a foul. That's his second foul.
Had that foul come in the first half, Causwell would be taking a seat. But of course, we're in the second half with 5 minutes and 5 seconds gone. LaSalle down 15 with a basketball, a fresh 45, and Bobby Johnson just inserted. He cannot hit, and there is Lieberst going over the top, and he'll be called for the foul. And for Milko, that is his second and the second on the team.
Well, Bobby Johnson, as we said, has been playing extremely well for the LaSalle Explorers, but he plays well when he shoots the ball well. When he shoots the ball well, he rebounds, he plays defense, he sees the open man. When he doesn't shoot the ball well, his whole game is in trouble right now.
Steve Reed, the second of 3 freshman centers for Speedy at 6'11", comes in to replace Lieberst.
See, now Overton's got Macon, Bobby Johnson's got Vreeswyk.
And Harden is left alone, and that's the game plan because Harden has problems shooting. But right there, a nice play by Pollard and a fresh 45. Vreeswyk.
Well, there you go. They're playing man-to-man, but the missed shot created an open jump shot for Vreeswyk.
Temple up 18, their largest lead of the game, 19. Simmons works and is fouled. And if that is Causwell, that'll be his third very quickly. Or maybe it's Pollard. Let's see who Jody Sylvester has. It is Causwell, that's number 3, and that may cause just a bit of concern for John Chaney, who only has 8 players in uniform.
And Jane Norman, the assistant coach at Temple, is giving Causwell what he thinks because he's very upset with Causwell. Again, Simmons done a good job showing the ball, but Causwell is taught not to leave his feet, and because this is his third foul, he's going to have to check out, and Randolph checks in for the Temple House.
Does this change things now? Causwell, the big shot blocker, the big 7-footer out of there. Does LaSalle attack differently?
Oh, I'm sure it helps them defensively. It also helps LaSalle on their defensive end because now they don't have that inside threat anymore. They can overplay even more on Vreeswyk and Macon. So it's definitely going to hurt Temple and should help LaSalle.
Simmons shooting 70% of the line, but hurts his average there as he misses 2, and Macon cradles it for Temple and takes instructions from John Chaney at the same time.
But nothing helps you when you're down 18 and you miss 2 free throws. If you're not shooting the ball well. They're still shooting about 30-some% here in the second half. They shot 33 in the first half.
If memory serves, I think that was the Explorers' first trip to the line on the night.
And they got the ball inside there.
Pollard.
Oh, right there, Pollard gives him something inside. But what happened defensively, Craig Conlon should be on top of Pollard, not letting him get the ball easy inside. He's got to get a hand in or something on top. Craig Conlon's not tall enough just to play behind him.
They give Conlon the room. What the heck? I mean, Conlon's been missing. Hurd has been missing. Johnson's been simply awful. And they're going to say, hey, we'll give you the room until you start making the more consistent one.
And we saw Craig Conlon out at DuPont Pavilion against Villanova just drive Villanova crazy with the open jump shot. Tonight he can't make it. He finally hits one.
Conlon was left open in that game as Villanova really concentrated on Lionel Simmons.
Now,
Harden as they leave him open again, and he gets the 3. Take that!
It's got to really help Michael Harden's confidence. He's wide open. If he can start knocking a few down, that's another dimension for Temple.
Temple by 21, their largest lead of the game, and as Craig Conlon goes up, Mike Vreeswyk goes down. The foul is on Conlon. And that is number 3 on Craig Conlon. So Speedy Morris now with some foul worries as his senior leader picks up number 3, and on the team that is also 3.
Deja vu a little bit here, but opposite. The last 2 years we've done the game, LaSalle was crushing Temple the last 2 times. They even made that man who loves that zone defense come out in the man-to-man. Temple would rally to beat LaSalle the last 2 years. Now we're looking the other way. 19-point lead for that man. He's got LaSalle on the ropes.
LaSalle has had everyone else in the Big 5 on the ropes this year, going a perfect 3-0. A win tonight could clinch the Big 5 City Series, but they got a ways to go. Down 21 to a Temple team that's been in control. Vreeswyk finally missed, and Conlon has the rebound. Steve Reed.
Now, that's definitely out of his range. I mean, he's 14 feet from the basket. The ball goes in there. He's not going to do much with it.
And LaSalle, who's had to come out and play man-to-man ever since about halfway through the first half when Vreeswyk really began to heat it up, now pretty much stuck in that man-to-man. They have to go after Temple. There's Vreeswyk, who did lots of damage in that first half. He has 7 3-pointers on the evening, 1 away from tying the Temple record. Nice move there by Pollard to get inside and score. Ernest Pollard, the sophomore from Roman Catholic, who under the coaching of Barry Brodzinski helped to lead Roman to the Catholic League Championship. And now tonight, he's trying to help Temple.
Screwed up, but I know a lot of people that should go to those talks, but I'm not getting up at 6 o'clock to go out there to listen to it.
Hey, it does the soul good to get up that
maybe
early.
after this game tonight, John and I can go out and he can talk to me about life, but I can't get up at 6 to do that. But I'll tell you, whatever he's doing at 6 in the morning since Christmas is working, because this is a different Temple team. They've come of age, and this might be the game.
Of course, the Owls have had a break, actually, with school being out. They have practiced at a more human 9 a.m. Pollard with a defensive board off the Overton miss, and we have said Overton miss a number of times tonight.
Right, and a little quick. I mean, if LaSalle could run a few guys through, get a couple passes, the same shot or a better shot is going to be available. They don't have to get everything back yet. 11:26 in the game. Plenty of time to try to come back against Temple here.
But isn't it tough to maintain patience down 23 points? Macon for 3. Overton with a long rebound. Has Johnson, has Conlon, and Simmons. This is Johnson, and a good job by Pollard to cut off the baseline. Hurd fakes for 3. Good defensive pickup there by Pollard. Very active are the Owls defensively. Simmons.
I don't know how he got it off.
That's just a man shot there by Lionel
Well, that
Simmons.
was pretty good defense by Temple. I think they had him behind the basket there. I don't know how he got back to this side of the basket and made the shot.
Because he's Lionel Simmons.
Okay.
21 the Temple lead. Now LaSalle trying to get aggressive defensively. Do they get the turnover? It is out of bounds off Mike Vreeswyk and Temple LaSalle basketball.
And LaSalle has to come out and something different as Speedy Morris changes in the trapping defense. The problem with the trapping defense, if you don't make a good trap, someone's going to be open. And if it's Vreeswyk, it's bad news.
Sixth turnover on Temple, again averaging 10. LaSalle has done a good job. After 10 turnovers in the first half, they have only one here in the second half. Bobby Johnson, in his exuberance, too many steps. What's a coach to do?
Well, you can't do much of anything now. If they do a good job defensively right there, they need every possession, and they're going to create turnovers. They got some problems. They got big problems.
Temple up 21 and in no hurry with a clock ticking, 10:20 to go second half, I'm sorry. And again, the Explorers still in the man-to-man. Don't look for it to change. That's Hurd on Vreeswyk. Overton on Harden. Good steal by Simmons, who leads this team in steals. And there is Macon reaching in and committing the foul. And Mark claiming he had all ball. And Gene Monjay says, foul called.
Not a good idea by Overton to throw it to the streaking Lionel Simmons with two Temple defenders back. They got lucky there because they called the foul on Mark Macon reaching in. But Simmons got the ball in the open court, but two defenders right around him.
Mick Kilgore, Duane Causwell back in. Again, Causwell with the 3 fouls. Overton, that'll be off Causwell, and LaSalle will have possession.
Hey, Temple's playing real well. They're just doing it offensively. They're doing a good job defensively. LaSalle had problems throwing the ball in from half court right there. That's a good move.
Simmons over the much taller Causwell, pulled up just short and got it over the outstretched
that's a
hands of Duane Causwell.
Great move with the dribble as he just went by Mark Macon with a little head fake and a dribble crossover there.
LaSalle doing some nipping and some chipping, down 19. They had been down as much as 25 in this game. Macon, as Overton is back on him in the man-to-man now. Vreeswyk, who's been quieted somewhat. And that is off Causwell and out of bounds.
See, again, pretty good move by Vreeswyk to get the shot, but he's just not as good a shooter off the dribble on the man-to-man defense.
Hurd for 3. And there is Pollard to get the board, and LaSalle fans looking for something, anything, thought perhaps that Pollard walked.
One pass and a shot, Mark. No ball movement at all to make Temple work a little bit on their zone defense.
Macon has it blocked by Simmons. Macon has it back, looks for Pollard over Conlon. And there's Overton. Of course, it's so very, very difficult to be patient when you're down by so much, as Johnson exhibits right there, but he gets the 3.
Well, again, you got 8:50 left in the game. You got plenty of time for at least a couple passes.
LaSalle down 16. That was the halftime margin.
Macon's going to break him down one-on-one. Let's see.
Gets some help on the screen from Pollard and gets 2.
Well, what happened there? Lionel Simmons was covering power for Temple. He didn't show himself easy enough. Macon rubbed Overton off.
And there's Pollard with a loose ball. And suddenly turnovers piling up on the Explorers, now 14 on the night. And that's something LaSalle's done a very good job of this year, taking care of the basketball.
They did a great job against Georgia with only 8 turnovers.
Vreeswyk for 3. And Pollard there, trying to get the offensive pull, commits the foul, going over the top of Lionel Simmons.
I'll tell you, Ernest Power committed the foul, but at least he's showing some real aggressiveness and emotion on both glasses. I think this is a good sign for Temple as Ernest Power's doing something at that forward position for him.
Timeout on the floor now with 7 minutes, 53 seconds to go, and the Explorers shot in terms of the big-time opponents and other conferences and championships.
It hurts. A guy like Speedy Morris, LaSalle loves to play that intersectional game, and he's going to be limited.
LaSalle down 18 with the basketball, and time becoming a factor now. 7:45, clock running, second half. Overton for 2. Well, he was unsuccessful from 3, so we pulled it in a few steps. And Doug Overton, having a miserable shooting night, 3 for 13 on the evening, is able to record there his 7th point of the night. Pollard and Hurd just took it away.
You said miserable shooting. How about for the night? The team, the rest of the team besides Lionel Simmons shooting 23%.
Johnson for 3.
And he's one of them. As Lionel Simmons is shooting 75% for the evening, the rest of the LaSalle Explorers shooting 23.
Johnson shooting 1 for 9. Conlon shooting 3 for 9. Overton shooting 3 for 13.
And that's been a thing Speedy Morris said. He felt that they may be even a better shooting team than last year's team. Tonight, all of them are off sync except for Lionel Simmons.
Good ball movement. Kilgore maybe with one pass too many. And the wrestling match is won by Conlon. And here come the Explorers with 6:40 to play. Overton for 3, and he's got it.
That cuts it down to 13 with 6:30, and LaSalle continues some full court pressure. Temple just has to be aware of it and try to get in the open hands of Vreeswyk.
Temple very well coached. They handle the trap nicely. Pollard is blocked underneath by Simmons and a foul.
Good ball movement by Temple. Excellent. They took their time. They saw LaSalle setting up. Vreeswyk makes people cover him. Nice bounce pass into Pollard, and there's your foul by Lionel Simmons. Excellent ball movement by Temple.
For Simmons, that is only 2 as Michael Harden comes into the game. He replaces Mick Kilgore. And Ernest Pollard now going to the line.
Pollard has no friends down there as he's looking right into LaSalle's fans, and there's nobody on the line for Temple.
And he misses the first. Pollard, an excellent free throw shooter at 93%. Temple as a team, excellent. They are shooting close to 80%. However, the lead stays at 13.
Jackie Hurd's really shaky on this possession right now. Temple's bringing their defense out a little bit, making the passing lanes tough.
Hurd for 3. And there's Causwell, a clean glass for Temple.
You live by the jump shot, you're going to get burned here, and John Chaney calls a timeout.
With 5 minutes and 49 seconds to play. Why would John Chaney choose to call a timeout up 13? Well, every possession looms larger here, especially for the Explorers, who find themselves still down 13 points with 5:49 to play.
This is what LaSalle has needed all night. They've been shooting that three-point shot, but haven't been connected as Doug Overton breaks it all the way and hits the 3 to cut the deficit to 13. They've been dying with that three-point shot tonight as LaSalle's going to break their huddle. What you got to love about John Chaney is you think you know what he's all about, and you watch, and he has all these pet sayings and the whole thing, and never calls timeout. The other team can be murdering him. Right now, he's got a 13-point lead with 5:49 left in the game. He calls timeout. I don't understand why he did, but that's why he's so great. Can't figure him out. But I'm sure it's a teaching type of thing, and maybe he wasn't happy with the offense, though they're getting some good shots.
Man-to-man for LaSalle. Temple up 13 with the ball. Let's see if they don't start chewing up some clock. Maybe that's what the timeout was all about. Making way out there with Overton right on him. Goes right up. Simmons out-battles Vreeswyk for the loose ball as the rebounds become increasingly important for LaSalle as well. They could cut it to 11, perhaps 10. They were down 16 at halftime, as much as 25 here in the second half.
They're doing a good job. They got to get the ball inside to Simmons.
He's got it now, and he took too many steps up, and they're not going to call it.
He got fouled
either.
first by Harden, they're going to call, but...
And on Causwell, if they call it on Causwell, wait a second. No, you're right. Michael Harden, the freshman guard, is called for the foul. As Causwell was very upset, and I thought perhaps they called it on him. That would have been number 4.
What Temple's done very well right after that timeout is they picked up the Temple in their defense. They're bringing the defense further out to LaSalle, matching up real strong defense right now.
An important note, 6-team foul on Temple, so LaSalle will shoot them from here on in. That's Simmons' shot. I'll tell you, once Simmons is off the board,
that's right.
That offensive board is going to go awry.
Well, you didn't see one of the LaSalle players there. Vreeswyk did a good job screening everybody off for the rebound.
Now Macon, who started at the point, and they're controlling things now. He's got another ball handler out there, and Michael Harden, but Harden unable to handle it away from the defense of Bobby Johnson, and the turnover for Temple. That is their 9th.
This is the 3rd time LaSalle's had the basketball down 13, and they haven't done anything.
Overton stopped short of the shot blocker Causwell. And there's Macon to outduel Simmons. And in the meantime, he is fouled by a very frustrated Doug Overton. And if you shot the way Doug Overton has shot tonight, you'd be frustrated too. That is team foul number 5 on LaSalle, and only the first on the LaSalle point guard.
LaSalle has to stay in this full court pressure. The last time Temple did a real nice job taking care of the basketball.
LaSalle showing trap. Conlon there to meet Vreeswyk, who took too many steps.
This is unheard of. Like, while Temple's been having problems all year, they've been playing very well, but the last 2 possessions haven't even got a shot off. Turnover by Harden, now Vreeswyk.
Both teams stuck in neutral for the last minute and a half.
Are they playing man-to-man? Harden's got Overton. Is this a triangle?
Johnson for 3, and it's good, and it will count for 3.
Right there, it looked like they changed up because Harden went man-to-man with Overton. Lionel Simmons is playing man-to-man, now down to 10.
Knocked out of bounds by Johnson. It'll still belong to Temple as the LaSalle fans again come to life. John Chaney, Speedy Morris exhorting the troops here as we come into crunch time. 4:06 to play.
Here we go. The fans are in it. Both coaches are in it. The fans. 4:06.
Causwell comes over to help out Vreeswyk. And now to the shore-handed Macon. Macon has not shot well tonight, but oh, what a floor game he's played. Not to mention the leadership and the ball handling. Has it now against Overton. That's that Temple set in the man-to-man, the double stack on each side of the lane. Now Causwell has it. Good position, the shot.
Good move. Good move by Causwell. He wants it now. He didn't want it earlier in the season. Now he wants it. He makes a strong move to the basket for 2. That's a big bucket for Temple.
And 12 in the game for the 6'11 sophomore.
They're man-to-man right now. Temple is, LaSalle's playing against a man-to-man.
Simmons. And a foul underneath. And I believe it's going to be on Mark Macon.
I'll tell you what. Good move by Chaney, though. He got out of that zone, went man-to-man. I don't think LaSalle has recognized it down the floor yet.
So, as mentioned previously, Temple now in the penalty and will shoot them from here on in. And that will help the Explorers somewhat as they try to cut into this Temple lead, which was as much as 25, as the Owls have really come out tonight and surprised, I'm sure, a lot of people after their 3-4 start and played LaSalle excellently. Bobby Johnson, who has joined the frustrated outside LaSalle shooters tonight with an equally frustrating night, but he gets 2 at the line. And the Explorers down 10, 3:24 to play. Temple with the basketball. Full court pressure coming from Jack Hurd, who says, I didn't foul Mark Macon, but the man who counts, Jody Sylvester, says, yes, you did. That is foul number 6 on the Explorers, so from here on in, Temple will be shooting.
LaSalle fouls on 25. Jack Hurd is his second personal foul. Team 6.
Full court pressure again by LaSalle. 10 points, 3:21. Now Temple just has to take care of the basketball and try to get the ball an open shot and run that 45-second clock down.
And another turnover for the Owls, and on the night that is 12. That is 2 above their average.
They've been vulnerable all year from this half-court trap, and it's surprising, especially when you got Macon and Vreeswyk handling the ball in that last possession.
And now the Owls and the man-to-man defense trying to keep the Explorers at bay, who look to cut into the lead and reduce it to single digits. Give and go. Johnson from Overton.
Now, if they're going to foul people, who do you foul? Harden? Good
Causwell.
double team.
And a turnover. And a timeout's going to be taken by John Chaney in just a couple of moments, and you'll hear the Explorer fans rise to the occasion. 25 points in the second half, and suddenly it has shriveled to 8 as the Owls, who historically under John Chaney take excellent care of the basketball, averaging only 10 turnovers a game, have 11 turnovers here in the second half, and perhaps that's part of the story. 2.5 to play. Simmons, the man on the move, and Macon strips him of the ball. The two superstars clash right there, and Macon wins it, and here comes Mark up the floor.
Well, Lionel Simmons beat his man Randolph, but Macon did a great job on help defense to come in and steal it.
Causwell surrounded. Vreeswyk for 3. Yes! And it ties a Temple record. Mark Vreeswyk ties Terrence Stansbury with 8 3-pointers in a game. Simmons has it batted out of bounds, and LaSalle will retain possession.
That's a big 3-point shot. As you think you'd run down the 45-second clock. Not with Mike Vreeswyk. When he's wide open, he knocks it down for him. 11-point advantage for Temple. They need a bucket here, LaSalle.
And Conlon's going to try to get it.
Under 2 minutes, I got to think about fouling.
and Causwell the most vulnerable foul shooter. The others are excellent foul shooters.
What's Harden on the line? 75, but he hasn't been to the line much, 6 for 8. I'd foul Harden right now. You don't want to foul that guy.
Simmons almost knocks it away. Harden has it now. Of course, he's the freshman as well. Speedy Morris incensed, looking for the traveling against Harden.
That's the guy you got to foul right now.
17 on the shot clock. Harden puts it up. And Johnson says, I got it, and throws the elbows up as well. Overton for Simmons. Johnson for 3. And Causwell with a defensive rebound, and boy, hasn't he been strong off the glass tonight for Temple. And now LaSalle is going to have to foul with just over a minute to play.
That was the shot they needed, but Bobby Johnson hasn't been making them all night long. Tough to get going right at the end of the game.
And Macon is the man who's going to go to the line, and Mark Macon only shoots 87% on the year.
That's the wrong guy. They went sent to the foul, and they had an opportunity a couple times to get hard with the foul. They couldn't get the foul to miss, but they ran a lot of clock off. They had the chance. Bobby Johnson had the 3, but as we said, he hasn't made them all night long, so why should he make them now?
And with a minute even to play, Speedy Morris now will call timeout. That'll give John Chaney a chance to talk with him.
A little bit on transition. That man right there likes to create a half-court offense, and that man right there likes to shoot the ball when he's open. And he was open a few times tonight, and did he burn LaSalle.
And he's taken a share of criticism this year. He's been inconsistent. He had 22 against Missouri, and then the next night he would come out and have 4 against Arizona. He had 20 this year against Duquesne, and then the following night 3 against Villanova. But Vreeswyk has come to the fore tonight with a Big 5 title on the line. And how about Macon with a rare miss? And here comes LaSalle. And the Owls still in that man-to-man. Overton forced it. And we have a LaSalle foul. It's either Hurd or Simmons, and will walk the floor.
3 years in a row now, Temple has gone man-to-man LaSalle late in the game. 3 years in a row, they've done a very nice job. LaSalle should do a better job running their man-to-man offense to get the ball in that man's hand, but they haven't. Good man-to-man defense by Temple, which John Chaney doesn't a lot of like to go in. I'd like to see him play a little bit more man-to-man because he shows that zone, shows some man-to-man to people.
Don't take this personally, but I have a feeling looking at John Chaney, what you think doesn't matter.
Yeah, you got that right.
Overton. Blocked there as Insurance, Randolph, and Causwell went back in his face. And now that's probably going to do it as a foul is called, and we'll walk the floor again for the Owls to shoot it. But foul is on Overton.
The thing is, can they play man-to-man is the question always asked about, because they sit back in the zone, or they bring the zone out sometimes. But tonight they've shown it. They've gone this stretch here. He doesn't like to go man-to-man probably for foul reasons, but he's shown good, hard man-to-man, and that man's offense has been stymied by the defense of Temple.
Speedy Morris, who saw his team win 8 in a row, now sees the first losing streak here at 2 in a row staring him in the face with 36 seconds to play. Simmons for 3 over Randolph. And Vreeswyk deservedly gets that loose ball. He's been the star tonight. He is tied up there by Hurd as they go wrestling to the floor. And the foul is coming up, and Vreeswyk taking exception to it. And Gene Monge and Pete Pavia, and now finally Jody Sylvester in to separate the possible combatants. .64 for Temple, 55 for LaSalle. And with 25 seconds to go, things do not look very good for Speedy Morris and company.
Well, I'm sure he's very frustrated and disappointed with the play of his team tonight. You know, I think they showed a lot of effort here in the second half. They made their run at Temple. Give credit, Temple took the run and fought it back. They called an intentional foul. So Vreeswyk will get the 2 shots and get the ball back. And Speedy Morris is not real happy. And he better watch himself or he's going to get hit with the tee.
Vreeswyk, an excellent foul shooter at 83% as a team. As a team, Temple shoots 80%. So to come from behind, Speedy, even against Temple, if you have to foul him as part of your strategy, it's very, very difficult. Now the Owls suddenly up 11 with the ball and 25 seconds to play.
And they come all the way back down the other end of the court.
Harden, the beleaguered freshman, the man whom you, Eddie, said LaSalle should have fouled about 4 possessions ago, will now go to the line.
Well, that man right there, John Chaney, has to be happy with the effort he got from his team. They did a real nice job. They always do a pretty good job on the defensive end, but I think they did a real nice job on the offense, executing, especially in the first half, and getting a lot of players involved in the offense. So he has a lot to be happy about this evening.
15 seconds to play. It's only 2 for Overton. And the foul is committed by Overton and Harden, who will again go to the line. So Speedy Morris will have to settle for, at least right now, a share of the Big 5 title, at least technically, until we play the remainder of the Big 5 schedule. Pennsylvania is still eligible. They're 1-1. Temple is still eligible. They will be 1-1 now after this. And St. Joe's still eligible. They are still 0-1.
Temple, as we saw, goes to NC State. As you said, Jim Valvano, he's playing one of those great schedules too. Jim Valvano can't find some tough intersectional game. I'm sure he's not going to be real happy to play this team, though. Now they're playing a lot better Temple, so I think they'll give Valvano and a lot of problems to the Wolfpack on the 7th of January.
Macon with a steal for good measure, and that will do it. And the measure of victory is 10 for a Temple team that 9 days ago barely snuck by Penn State on their home court. Tonight, they stopped Speedy Morris and LaSalle from trying to win their first Big 5 title outright in 14 seasons. They could have gone 4-0. Instead, Temple beats LaSalle for the 5th straight year. The final score, the Owls 67, LaSalle 57. Stay with us. We'll have the play and player of the game. And for the first time this season, the Owls at 500 at 4-4. LaSalle dropping to 8-3 as they beat the Explorers tonight 67-57. And now the Daily News play of the game. Remember, only the news keeps you this close to the action. This man had 6 3-pointers coming in the first half. He had 8 all told in the game. This is the 8th right here, significant because it tied a Temple record also held by Terrence Stansbury for 3-pointers made in a game. 26 points in all, a new season high for Mike Vreeswyk, who is with Ed Stefanski right now.
Mike, you had 8 3-point shots tonight. You tied Terrence Stansbury for the 3-point shots.
Oh, that's great, but I'm just fortunate that I was getting open to get those jump shots. They played a zone for most of the first half, and I guess most of them came in that first half. I was able to find some open spots, and Mark and Mike were getting me the ball.
Why did your eyes sparkle when you saw LaSalle go in that zone defense in the first half?
Well, not many teams play us in a zone, and usually if we work the ball long enough and be patient, somebody's going to get an open shot sooner or later, and tonight just happened to be me.
It seems since your layoff, and you had a long one since Christmas holidays, that the more the other players besides you and Macon are looking for the offense and making you a tougher team to play.
Yeah, well, we knew they would come around sooner or later, and hopefully this is the start of something good with Ernest and Duane really looking to score. That's going to take a lot of pressure off Mark and myself.
Was it LaSalle's shooting or Temple's defense that caused the poor shooting of LaSalle?
Well, I think it was a little bit of both.
And how were you going to play Lionel Simmons tonight? What did Coach Chaney want to do with Lionel?
Well, just put 2 and 3 guys wherever he is, because he's like 70% of their offense, and when he has good games, when he scores 30 points, they win handily. But if we can keep him, we're not going to shut him down or anything, but if we can hold him to under 20 or something, then we had a good chance to win.
Now you threw a wrench in the Big 5, especially for LaSalle. They could have clinched the title. They have 1 loss. Now you guys still have a shot. You've given other people hope.
Yeah, well, we have to win our next 2 games against Penn and against
the Hawks, St. Joe.
Yeah, St. Joe. I know we already played them once, but that wasn't a Big 5 game. But we're just looking. We got a big game Saturday, and that's what we're concentrating on most right now.
Mike, great game and good luck against North Carolina State.
Thank you very much.
Okay, Mike Vreeswyk, and as you said, when he sees a zone, he likes to knock it down.
A zone buster, Ed Stefanski. He is tonight's Budweiser Player of the Game. Mike Vreeswyk, for all you do, Big 5 fans, this buds.
Shining,